If you want to make a good game that people stay on, play it, and even maybe buy your microtransactions, you want to make a game that people tell their friends about, I'm about to give you my 5 biggest tips on how I went from a trash game developer into one that I would actually consider to be a decent level game developer. I know this will be a long process, but we're going to get into my 5 biggest tips right now. Tip number 1. So what you want to do is simply start. Just start building a game. Download Roblox Studio. Do something. I need you to just take initiative now. Otherwise, it'll just be a thought in your head. And in addition to that, you need to just start coding, start looking up tutorials, just start doing something now, because if you don't start, you never will, and there's nowhere to go but besides up. Your first game is going to be bad, so I just need you to start, make your first game, get that bad game out of your system. I personally have made 2 bad games, maybe 1, I'd say they're both pretty bad, but they're 2 bad games, but the point is I made them, and that helped me make my best game ever, which is Super Speed Simulator. I learned so much from just making games, so you gotta make games to learn to make better games. Tip number 2. Make the design nice and clean. So in my first 2 games, there's not like a coherent theme in my design. It's just kind of all over the place. Free models are being used. It's just not a good look. So what I did in my 3rd game, my best game, is I made a lot of clean designs. I made it feel like one coherent theme. In the first, there's like worlds. So in the first world, it feels like Mario. In the second world, it feels a bit futuristic. In the third world, it feels more futuristic. In the fourth world, it's a basketball court that I made myself from scratch. And then in the 5th world, it's a soccer field that I again made from scratch. So what you want to do is you want to have a game that looks good. Because if it's not visually like pleasing, then no one's going to stay and play. While you do have another option when it comes to that, you can use a bunch of free models and make it like a meme game, but that's if you like, that's just for people that like doing that, but I wouldn't consider those good games even if they get a lot of plays. So make it look clean. In my Super Speed Simulator, you get titles in a yellow font that looks clean and put together. There's a rebirth menu that looks clean and put together. There's a game intro that looks clean and put together. So that, just make it look good. It doesn't have to look amazing, it just has to look good. Tip number 3, which is the one I struggle with the most. You're not going to get all this done in one sitting. You're going to have to come back day after day after day after day to complete each task, and you're going to have a lot of setbacks, and you're going to be struggling with one part of it. But what's important too is just to move on and work on a different part of like your game, and maybe something you do over there will help you with the part you're struggling with now. For example, in my first game, I struggled with like monetizing and making like Game Pass features, but now I don't even like think to include that because none of my games have blown up. So what's the point in making it when if it's not gonna blow up, you're like, what's the point really? Unless you just want practice. But just know it'll take setbacks and that you'll have to do a lot of different things, and you're not going to be able to do it all in one sitting. You can get a large portion of it done in one sitting if you're really dedicated and you spend a whole day on it. Like in my video, I made a game in 24 hours. But it's tough. It's tough. You gotta just come back day after day and improve your game. Like I started my game in 24 hours, and then a week later I came back and I improved it again, and then I improved it again. And now I'm just sitting down randomly 1 hour a day and I'm just working on it, trying to think of ways that I can improve it and make it a better. Tip number 4. So in order to make a good game, this might be the most useful tip for you guys, so pay attention. Take your notebooks out. Start writing this down. Tip number 4. If you want to make a good game, focus on the main like feedback. What's happening in your game? In Super Speed Simulator, you are going to collect coins and drop them off to jump higher. And then, using your excess jump and excess speed, you're able to go to new worlds and get more coins that are worth more money. So what is your main feedback? In my first game, it's blocks dropping from the sky and you have to live. That has a feedback loop. It's poorly executed, but it has a loop. So look at all the different games. What is there? A tycoon. What are you doing? You're upgrading. You have to come back and upgrade. You have to do a task to get something. You have to do something, get something in return, and make that fun. So that is what you got to focus on. Make something fun about your game. Maybe it's not fun, maybe it's interesting. Like chess. Chess is an interesting game. Just make a game that makes you like think or makes you have fun, and it's got to be the main part of the game. Tip number 5. This is going to take time. You're going to have to make 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I don't even know. You're going to have to make a lot of games before one blows up, and if you're lucky it'll blow up huge, or it could blow up small. Like, I don't really know, but just know that it's going to take time. This stuff doesn't happen overnight. You don't become an evil genius overnight. It's because you work and you work and you work towards it. So that is my 5 best tips to making a good game, like a genuinely good game that people will play for half an hour or more than that. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. And if you like the video. Please subscribe, stick around here. I love you guys around here, so just, you love me back. And leave a like and peace and bye.